Hello there friends, welcome to my channel. In today's video I am going to cover up a slightly tougher poem that is an elementary school classroom in a slum. Why did I use this word slightly tougher poem? So that your entire concentration would be there with me. So over to the poem. The poem is written by the great poet Stephen Spender. And as far as we know about Spender, he has basically concentrated on themes of social injustice and class inequalities. So, in this poem, Spender tries to describe the condition of a school which is situated in a slum area. Slum area, a place where impoverished people live, and this is an elementary school where all these children who belong to these impoverished families, they study. So the different sections of the poem, they tell us about the the condition of education which were there in the slum school. So over to the first stanza. We are told that the first stanza, the children who are sitting in the slum classroom, they are described. And as Spender describes them, he tells us that these children, their faces are far away from the joys of life. Why are their faces far away from the joys of life? Because they have pathetic living conditions, and on the other hand, as I've already told you, that they belong to impoverished families. We also learned that these children, they are like unwanted weeds. Simile, they have been simile, the figure of speech is used over here. They are compared to weeds, the unwanted plants. And on the other hand, we are told that the physical condition of these children is similar to the condition of a plant which lacks firm support on the ground, rootless weeds. So in other words, we need to understand that these children, they are physically not very strong, so they are weak yet keen to learn. And all these children are sitting in the slum classroom to get some sort of knowledge and education. So one by one, he describes the children. There is a thin girl who's got a big head, huge head with thin body. On the other hand, there is a boy who is paper thin. Yet another child suffers from a disease of twisted bones. Unfortunately, he has inherited this disease from his father. Generally, people get, as a matter of fact, money as a legacy from the parents. But here, in the case of this child, this poor child, he has inherited this disease of twisted bones from his father. And this boy keeps on reciting, he keeps on telling everyone about this problem, because people must be asking him, why are you like that? So initially in the 3-4 lines of the poem, maybe in half of the stanza, first stanza, the picture which is given to us by Stephen Spender is slightly bleak of the slum classroom. After that, he describes a child who is sitting on the last bench, and he is sweet looking, and he is an optimistic sort of a child, and he dreams of all the various things, all the various beautiful things which children dream of. Dreams are always associated with positivity. So he dreams of cute little things like squirrels playing in the tree house. Overall, the first stanza, after describing the condition of the children in the slum classroom, tells us that these children who are there in the slum school, they don't have very strong bodies. They are undernourished because they belong to poor families. In the second stanza, the description of the slum classroom is given to us. And we come to know that the color scheme of the walls is similar to sour cream, dull yellow color. The school relies on donations. And as a result of that, they don't have enough money to get the walls painted often. There are various charts which are put on display on the walls, and we come to know that one chart shows Shakespeare's head, another shows all sort of civilizations, various development which is happening all over the world, all sort of beautiful pictures of clear sky, bells, flowers, places showing all sort of scenic beauty. But one thing is very much clear over here, that these pictures are not of much use to these children, because the map generally is needed by a person or people who would like to visit any place which is it's showing. But in the case of these children, their families probably would never ever be taking them out. After that, we come to know that Spender feels that these children who are studying in the slum classroom, their future is not very bright. It's rather foggy, because the slum school is situated in an area which is overpopulated. All the buildings and everything are quite close to each other, and this school is far away from the world of nature. Children learn so much from nature, and an exposure, a perfect exposure, is required. After that, Spender starts telling us that how is the chart which shows Shakespeare's head, that is wicked, that's bad. That's bad because these children would probably not be knowing anything more about the great dramatist and poet Shakespeare. Generally, charts and all the various other things put on display in the classroom are there to motivate the children. But these children would not be knowing much about Shakespeare, William Shakespeare. They just know that this is the picture of William Shakespeare. After that, the poem proceeds further, and we come to know that the children who are there in the slum classroom, when they look at the map, they also feel to have all these pleasure, all the places which are shown by the map. They also feel like having a life similar to that. They also would like to visit these places which are displayed, which are shown by the maps, but unfortunately their families do not have money. So in that condition, what do they feel? They have a feeling of stealing these pleasure. Life is described as sly. It's described as cunning because its pleasures are only available to those who have money. Then the weak bodies of these children are compared to glass bottles. If you throw a glass bottle against a stone, in how many pieces it would be broken? It would be shattered completely. In a similar manner, these children, if they would be faced with any obstacles in life, it would be probably difficult for them to face that. Because not only because of physical deformities or less exposure, but the thing is that their education is not complete. So, in the last stanza, Spender tries to tell the readers that this classroom where these children are sitting, it is just like a grave for them where they are buried alive, because the only option they have to be connected with the world is to peep out of the window. There are rare opportunities when they go out of the class. If governor or inspector or any other person comes to the school, then only they go out of the class. Otherwise, they remain sitting in the slum classroom. Another thing we come to know about them, about their condition, is that these children, they wear glasses which are mended again and again. Probably their families can't even afford a new pair of spectacles for them. After describing the children and then describing the classroom and then speaking something about the kind of education given to them, Spender tells us that these children should be exposed to nature. They must know how it feels to run on sand barefoot, to look at the color of the sky. It's a wonderful feeling. So all these beautiful experiences they are unable to have because they don't get the opportunity. So they should be given more opportunity to explore the town, to explore the world. So finally, what will happen? Their entire personality would be shaped up. And after acquiring knowledge with the help of books which they would be reading, and by being close to nature and by traveling the world, they would be probably complete individuals. Their education would be complete that ways. So these people, these children, they need to break all the restrictions which are imposed on them. Restrictions in the form of just being in the slum classroom for the whole day, not going out, not playing, not being exposed to nature. So a proper exposure is required for children. And that's what he's trying to tell us at the end of the poem. I tried my level best to make that clear to you, but still, if you have any doubts, as I always say, your queries, your doubts are always, I welcome your doubts. So, bye-bye for now, and I'll be seeing you soon in my next video. See you.